them rock girls is fucking spoiled. I remember my youngest, Zara, when she was in kindergarten, one day the teacher said, today we're gonna learn about the 4 seasons. And Zara said, that's my favorite hotel. Yeah, you ain't never seen black girls like this. No, my kids are fucking spoiled. Wow. We're here for Kevin Hart. Here, Mark Twain Award. Kevin, a man of extraordinary talents. Look at him, look at that smile. Got that second wife happiness. Ain't nothing like that second wife happiness. It's like we didn't struggle at all. Yes. Kevin's made amazing movies. My favorite movie of Kevin's is The Upside. You ever see The Upside? Kevin and Bryan Cranston. Kevin's his helper. You gotta see it. It's the best acting Kevin Hart has ever done. Because in the movie, he had to act like he had less money than Bryan Cranston. It's unbelievable. He's like, wow, this is a nice house, mister. I never seen a Ferrari before. It's a regular Denzel over there. Now, seriously, I met Kevin on the set of the movie Death at a Funeral.
Yes, sir.
Death at a Funeral. I met Kevin. I had seen him. You had a special on Showtime, and it was a bunch of young comedians and Kevin. And I think we had like a lunch break or something, and Kevin came up to me and asked for advice. And I'd seen him, and I don't know, I gave him some advice. And it's weird, he's the only guy, Kevin Hart and Aziz Ansari, only guys that ever listened to me. And he literally did exactly what the fuck I told him. I looked at him, I said, yo, man, you're really funny, but your problem is you're competing with these other comedians. They are not your peers. You're better than all of them. But you need to get out of their circle and develop your own voice. That's what I told him, right?
True story.
I swear to God, within 800 days, Kevin Hart was a bigger star than me. Within 800 days, he was taking parts from me. He's in a movie with The Rock. My last name's Rock. How the fuck he get the fucking part? From now on, when I see young comedians, they ask me for advice, I just say, shut the fuck up. But I love Kevin Hart. I'm glad I'm here tonight. Enjoy your new wife and kids, bastard. Y'all take care. Thank you. The biggest addiction in America is attention. We are addicted to attention. Can't get enough attention. We used to want love. Now we just want likes. Posting up pathetic pictures. This is me eating sushi. Like me.
Round 2. Fight. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not wait to make another video. I felt like I missed out on presenting what Chris Rock said about Meghan Markle and all that shenanigans of her racist rants and all this old stupidity. I felt like I missed out because I focused more on the other thing, and I wish y'all could have seen this one. So I'm coming back with another video, round 2. Chris Rock, in my personal opinion, I haven't watched the whole series. I just heard that the series was great. Me and the wife supposed to watch it yesterday, but she wasn't feeling good. So maybe we'll watch it tonight. I had people in the comment section saying that Chris Rock is just as woke as ever on this one, but I haven't watched it myself, so I cannot vouch for whether he's woke or not, or somebody just being sensitive. However, I can say he was spot on Will Smith, and he's spot on Meghan Markle and that whole debacle with the royal family. I think she is the most ignorant, selfish person that I've ever heard of. Now, I don't know her, so maybe in person she's different. But the way she presents to the public, she's a complete fool. All of these people are foolish. And they try to sell you on this fake racism stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to talk much. I'll let Chris Rock do all the talking. Chris Rock, take it away.
That she went through was not racism. It was just some in-law. Because she's complaining. I'm like, what the is she talking about? No, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby was going to be. They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's going to be. I'm like, that's not racist. Because even black people want to know.
Hilarious. Even black people. I think it's a little more. Is there still more to come?
How brown the baby gonna be? The biggest addiction.
Now, I want you guys to know I had to pause it because I don't want them banning my channel. So we got to pause it just a little bit. This is a review of this video. So I'm not pirating anything or anything. This is on this website, Independent, that we just looked at.
In America is attention. We are addicted to attention. Can't get enough attention. We used to want love. Now we just want likes. Posting up pathetic pictures. This is me eating sushi. Like me. Easiest way to get attention is to be a victim.
There you go. He said it. He said it. Not me. He said it.
Everybody claims to be a victim. When the real victims need help, ain't nobody gonna be there to help them. And right now, we live in a world where the emergency room is filled up with motherfuckers with paper cuts. Okay? Everybody trying to be a victim.
Stay quick break from the action real quick so I can let you guys know about our sponsor, Pure Talk. I call them my cell phone company, the coldest cell phone company in the game. I don't know how everybody on planet Earth doesn't switch to Pure Talk. It's only $30 a month for unlimited talk, text, and a whole bunch of data. The average family, just so you know, saves over $900 a year by switching from T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T to Pure Talk. Money back guarantee too. So if it don't work for you, send that thing back. But I have the Pure Talk phone and I love it. I use it every single day. And I even want to get my mama a Pure Talk phone. She was complaining about her bill. And I say, Mama, look, why you spending that much money on that bill? It's Metro PCS. You need to go to Pure Talk. You can keep your number. You can keep the phone. It takes about 10 minutes to switch over. So all you have to do is dial pound 250 or hit the link in the description section. That's pound 250, say Brandon Tatum, or hit the link in the description section and switch to Pure Talk today. Let's get back to the video. As you can see, for the most part, I think it sounds like he's not woke in that one. But I like how he exposed the Meghan Markle and the whole victim thing.
Toronto, it's good morning, Canada. It has been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. All Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife. We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show. It's so awesome to be here. It's great. So let me start with you, sir. You've lived a life with the royal family. You've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Win. Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I are totally like, you should write a book because your family like stupid and then so are like journalists. So you hate journalists. That's right. And now you wrote a book that reports on the lives of the royal family. Right. So you're a journalist. We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard. Isn't it true, sir, that your questionable wife has her own TV show and hangs out with celebrities and does fashion magazines? What are you suggesting? Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving bitch wife actually doesn't want her privacy. How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving bitch wife has always wanted her privacy. And you know what else? To hell with Canada. We are leaving. We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people. Come on, wife. We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy.
It's bizarre to me. And I'm intelligent enough to understand why this happens, right? I think it's stupid that it happens, and I think the people who participated in it, they're idiotic. But I can understand how it ended up happening, right? You get a person who's highly successful, and they start to feel guilty, right? Especially if you black and you become really successful, you don't want to feel like, oh, I'm selling my people out. Oh, I ain't with the people no more. I'm kind of selling out where I came from. I kind of forgot where I came from, that whole idea. And so people feel some type of way. So then they have to keep reverting back. Even though they live a great life, even though their American dream is being fulfilled, they have to go back and say, no, but. And especially biracial people. I think the biggest dilemma for identity crisis is biracial people. Because in reality, you're black and white. 100% black and white in reality, for the most part, right? You know, we all mixed up with something. But for the most part, you're almost 50-50 black and white. Now, in our society, you have to be defaulted to black. When that is a white supremacist ideology from the start. Because back in the day, if you had any drop of anything, you weren't pure white. So they called you the race that you were connected to outside of the white race. And so if you had a little bit of black in you, they used to call it the one drop rule. You had a little bit of black in you, you could not be considered white because that was the pure race. And so in our society, mostly people who are woke, are the ones still diving into this white supremacist idea by calling everybody black, that even though they're 50-50 mixed. But what happens is they make you have to be black. So then when you get to a certain point in life, you feel like you have to identify with your black side or you're a sellout. And all of the people that you see, the Colin Kaepernicks, the Meghan Markles, all these other biracial people are struggling internally, especially Colin Kaepernick, who was raised by white people. That man don't know, unless he take a DNA test, you wouldn't even know he had any black in him. I thought it was Arabic when I first saw him. But then whoever his parents are, he probably don't even know who they are. They may not even know who he is. He was raised by white people his whole life. Yet he's now growing a fro out and saying black power. It's the conflict that happens on the inside of somebody. And I'm glad that Chris Rock brought it out. And the whole victimhood, the whole I'm doing things for likes, I see conservatives do it all the time. It's not just the left. It's not just the woke mob. Conservatives do it all the time. They try to find ways to go viral on stuff they don't even believe in. They'll pitch things. They'll talk about things that are not even, I guess, legitimate talking points, but they want to go viral. They want to be known. They want to click. They want to like. They even sell their own mama out to get a viral video. And I love the fact that Chris Rock is addressing that stuff, but I haven't seen the whole thing, so I want y'all to go and check it out. I'll see it tonight if I have enough time. I'll go watch it and see if this is a legitimate documentary. Then maybe I'll let you guys know. I don't typically like Netflix because everything on there is woke. But every now and again, like a broken clock, they'll put something up there right twice a day, and it'll have some value to it. So anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one. Go and watch another video. That's what I was supposed to tell you at the end of this video. Go watch another video, because the more videos you watch, the more it elevates the channel. So like the video, go watch another video. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I put out 3 videos a day, so make sure you go to the playlist that says new video and watch more videos. Subscribe to this channel. Let's go, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Rock.
Before we even get started, let's hey, the elephant in the room. President Trump's in the hospital from COVID, and I just want to say my heart goes out to COVID. So this is a special show. This show is quite different than every other show. There are so many protocols. Everybody in this audience has been checked, and all week I've had things going up my nose. Every day I come in here, I haven't had so much stuff up my nose since I shared a dressing room with Chris Farley. But, hey, I gotta say, the audience, this floor right here, are first responders. All the audience right here. Everybody here is a first responder, okay? Okay, so, you know, they're so good, we let people die tonight so they can see a good show, okay? Now, you know, the world is insane right now, but one thing we can agree upon, COVID has ruined our plans. We all used to have plans before COVID. Remember, I used to be able to plan stuff, man? My sister was getting married, man. I paid Belle Biv DeVoe $80,000, man, and I can't get it back. I had tickets to Coachella, man. I know 200,000 Americans are dead, but I'm not seeing Rage Against the Machine this year, man. That is a travesty. Now, one thing I've noticed about this whole pandemic, people are like reassessing their relationships. That's the big thing, taking inventory. You know, a lot of breakups, a lot of divorces, and a lot of like renegotiations, you know? Like couples stay together, but they're like, okay, we're gonna stay together, but I'm telling you exactly what I don't like about you right now. Okay, if we gonna keep this going, you're gonna have to change some stuff, okay? And it's weird, we're doing that with our relationships. All of us are doing that with our relationships, but I think we need to renegotiate our relationship to the government, you know? It's like, yeah, we need to renegotiate our relationship to the government. Does it work? I mean, I think Joe Biden should be the last president ever. Like, we need a whole new system, okay? I mean, do we even, like, need a president, or just figure out a new way to do the job? I mean, what job do you have for 4 years no matter what? Just show me one job. Like, if you hired a cook and he was making people vomit every day, do you sit there and go, well, he's got a 4-year deal. We just got to vomit for 4 more years. I mean, to be the president of the United States, all you have to be is 35 and born in the United States. So, you know, if anybody can be the president, then anybody can be the president, man. That's how we got in this predicament, you know what I mean? I mean, there should be some rules to being the president. You know, you realize there's more rules to a game show than running for president? Like, Donald Trump left a game show to run for president because it was easier. That's right. There's rules to be on Jeopardy. You can't just jump on Jeopardy. Can't throw your son on Jeopardy or your son-in-law. Steve Harvey can't put his family on Family Feud. It's like real scrutiny, man. And do the Democrats even want to win? Do they even want to win? Every time, it's like Trump, he runs against, the Democrats just keep putting up 75-year-old people to run against Trump. Now, hey, one thing we can say about Trump, he got the most energy of any 75-year-old person on the face of the earth. Even Mick Jagger's like, slow down, Donald. you know, Trump is like, he's like a dominant female boxer. He's like Ronda Rousey. You're like, God damn it, she can fight. And then you go, oh, she hitting girls. I know, we gotta figure out our whole relationship. We gotta renegotiate our relationship to the government. The Senate and the Congress, does it work? No, it doesn't freaking work, man. It doesn't work. And we've agreed, you know, and why doesn't it work? Because they need freaking term limits, okay? We've agreed in the United States that we cannot have kings, yet we have dukes and duchesses running the Senate and the Congress, making decisions for poor people. That's right. Rich people making decisions for poor people. That's like your handsome friend giving you dating advice. Like, well, I think you should go over there and grab her by the ass and tell her it's yours. Yeah, that works for you, Idris. But we gotta take this serious. We gotta get out there. We gotta vote. But they don't want us to vote. The government does not want you to vote. Why do I know they don't want you to vote? Because election day is a Tuesday in November. Why? Will anybody here ever put something on a Tuesday in November? Does anybody get married on a Tuesday in November? Church ain't on a Tuesday. Even Jesus avoids Tuesday. You know, if this show was Tuesday Night Live, it would have got canceled in 1975. You know, but I mean, that's why we gotta vote, man. And we gotta take it seriously, man. We gotta take it serious, you know? Like, I watch the Republicans take it serious, you know? You watch Fox News, Sean Hannity's mean every day. He's looking you in the camera, he's telling you it's the end of the world. Listen to me. And every time I see Anderson Cooper, he's with Andy Cohen on New Year's Eve, blowing a kazoo, drinking rosé. It's like, of course they believe Sean. What do you expect? You know, Walter Cronkite was like the most respected man in news. You know why? Because we never saw him in shorts, okay? But we gotta take this serious, man. We gotta take the whole government serious. We gotta take everything going on right now. We can lick this, okay? We can beat this if we all work together. You know, James Baldwin said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced, okay? All right? We got a great show for you tonight. Megan Thee Stallion is here, so stick around and we'll be right back. Here's my good jail story. My brother was in the halfway house in between jail and whatever. So one day I'm dropping him off at jail, and then I realized I'm waiting for him to safely get into jail. God forbid something happened to him out here.
You know what? You're a good brother.
I'm a good brother. How do you stay together? You gotta fuck. People always say, oh, when we got together, it was so much fun, but then problems arose. No, they didn't. Nothing arose. Every problem you have today, you had when you met, but you were fucking, so you forgave.
I just want to already be deeply in love. I don't want to have to trot through all the getting to know you questions. There was like, oh, whereabouts do you hail from? Oh, where do you hail from? I need answers. Oh, you know, it's like, where? And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I've never been to that town, but I've been to a nearby town, so I can kind of imagine.
I love my wife a lot, but marriage has definitely made me a worse person. Before I got married, I used to care because I was trying to get laid. Now I don't care anymore, okay? All I care about is my wife's opinion about me and her well-being. That's all I care about. I don't give a fuck about any of this other idiots on the internet, or even her friends come and talk to my wife's friends and say, hey, Ronnie, how? I'm like, fuck this shit. I just gotta walk away.
If you're worried about gold diggers, I have an idea. How about just date women with their own fucking gold? I don't know, maybe stop dating 18-year-olds that need a Kickstarter campaign just to eat dinner. Maybe just date adults with jobs. I don't know.
That's how I know I love my baby more than anybody else in the entire world. I told my husband, till death do us part. And not once have I ever sniffed his ass. I've licked it, but I haven't sniffed it.
I married a chef because I'm a fucking genius. Right? Do you guys like food? That's what he makes. That's what he makes. Yeah, I love it. Marrying a chef, it's like a little on the nose for me. It's kind of like Snoop marrying weed.
If I've learned anything in 5 years of being married is we're always working on me. You know? Evidently, my wife is this completed work under museum glass that is to be admired and studied. Like, how did she do that? And I'm like one of these guys, you know those buildings that just has scaffolding around it for like 6 straight years? And you're like, are they ever gonna finish that thing? Is that some sort of insurance job? Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit. You should just tear it down and start over again.
I have one fantasy that I've allowed myself, even though it isn't based in reality. But I think it's pretty good. It works every time. I'm in an alley in like some kind of Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider outfit, and an ex-boyfriend comes towards me, one I really loved. And he doesn't say anything right away, and he just leans me against the wall, gets real close, and he whispers, "You're right. I do need therapy."
I said I'm in a relationship now. I did serve several sentences online, and you know, I didn't click with anyone, but I was like, there were several men who I don't want their voices to be lost. Where else are they going to be represented in society? So these are just some up and comers you should look out for. This guy just wrote, "Come smoke weed. Sent on Christmas." I was like, Jesus, is that you?
Man, I counted at least 15 black people on that montage. Hey! Well, I'm here at the Academy Awards, otherwise known as the White People's Choice Awards. You realize if they nominated host, I wouldn't even get this job. So y'all be watching Neil Patrick Harris right now. But here's the crazy thing. This is the wildest, craziest Oscars to ever host because we got all this controversy. There's no black nominees, you know? And people are like, Chris, you should boycott. Chris, you should quit. You should quit. You know, how come there's only unemployed people that tell you to quit something, huh? You know? No one with a job ever tells you to quit. So I thought about quitting. I thought about it real hard, but I realized they're gonna have the Oscars anyway. They're not gonna cancel the Oscars because I quit, you know? And the last thing I need is to lose another job to Kevin Hart, okay? I don't need that. Kev right there. Kev make movies fast. Every month. Porno stars don't make movies that fast. Now, the thing is, why are we protesting? That's the big question. Why this Oscars? Why this Oscars? You know, it's the 88th Academy Awards. It's the 88th Academy Awards, which means this whole no black nominees thing has happened at least 71 other times. Okay? You gotta figure that it happened in the 50s, in the 60s. You know, in the 60s, one of those years, Sydney didn't put out a movie. I'm sure there were no black nominees some of those years, say 62 or 63, and black people did not protest. Why? Because we had real things to protest at the time, you know? We had real things to protest. You know, we're too busy being raped and lynched to care about who won Best Cinematographer. You know, when your grandmother's swinging from a tree, it's really hard to care about Best Documentary Foreign Short. But what happened this year? What happened? People went mad, you know? Spike got mad, and Sharpton got mad, and Jada went mad, and Will went mad. Everybody went mad, you know? It's quite like Jada got mad. Jada says she's not coming, protesting. I'm like, is she on a TV show? Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited. Oh, it's not an invitation I would turn down. But I understand, I'm not hating. I understand you're mad. Jada's mad, her man, Will, was not nominated for Concussion. I get it. Tell the truth, I get it. You get mad, she said it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. Yeah, you're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay? Okay? Things, this year the Oscars, things are gonna be a little different. Things are gonna be a little different at the Oscars. This year, in the in memoriam package, it's just gonna be black people that were shot by the cops on their way to the movies. Yes, I said it, all right? Hey, if you want black nominees every year, you need to just have black categories. That's what you need. You need to have black categories. You already do it with men and women. Think about it. There's no real reason for there to be a man and a woman category in acting. It's not, come on. There's no reason. It's not track and field. You don't have to separate them. Robert De Niro's never said, I better slow this acting down so Meryl Streep could catch up. No, not at all, man. If you want black people every year at the Oscars, just have black categories like Best Black Friend. That's right. And the winner for the 18th year in a row is Wanda Sykes. This is Wanda's 18th Black Oscar. But here's the real question. The real question everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know in the world, is Hollywood racist? Is Hollywood racist? You gotta go at that the right way. Is it Burning Cross racist? No. Is it fetch me some lemonade racist? No. It's a different type of racist. Now, I remember one night I was at a fundraiser for President Obama. A lot of you were there. And, it's me and all of Hollywood. And it's all of us there. And there's about 4 black people there. Me, Quincy Jones, Russell Simmons, Questlove. The usual suspects, right? And every black actor that wasn't working. Needless to say, Kev Hart was not there, okay? So at some point, you get to take a picture with the president, and as they're setting up the picture, you get like a little moment with the president. I'm like, Mr. President, you see all these writers and producers and actors? They don't hire black people. And they're the nicest white people on earth. They're liberals. Cheese. That's right. Is Hollywood racist? You're damn right Hollywood's racist, but it ain't the racist that you've grown accustomed to. Hollywood is sorority racist. It's like, we like you, Rhonda, but you're not a Kappa. That's how Hollywood's, yeah? But things are changing. Things are changing. Yeah, we got a Black Rocky this year. Yeah, some people call it Creed, I call it Black Rocky. And that's an unbelievable statement. Because Rocky takes place in a world where white athletes are as good as black athletes. So Rocky's a science fiction movie. There's things that happen in Star Wars that are more believable than things that happen in Rocky, okay? But hey, we're here to honor actors. We're here to honor actors. We're here to honor film, but there's a lot of snubs, but one of the biggest snubs no one's talking about. My favorite actor in the world is Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti, I believe, is the greatest actor in the world. Think about what Paul Giamatti has done the last couple of years. Last year, he's in 12 Years a Slave, hates black people. This year he's in Straight Outta Compton, loves black people. Last year he's whooping Lupita. This year he's crying at Eazy-E's funeral. Now that's range. Yeah, Ben Affleck can't do that. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not about boycotting anything. It's just we want opportunity. We want the black actors to get the same opportunities as white actors. That's it. Just, not just once. Leo gets a great part every year. And everybody, look, all you guys get great parts all the time. But what about the black actors? Look at Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is one of the best actors in the world, man. Jamie Foxx, Jamie Foxx was so good in Ray that they went to the hospital and unplugged the real Ray Charles. It's like, we don't need two of these. No, man. But the big thing, everything's not about race, man. Another big thing tonight is you're not allowed, somebody told me this, you're not allowed to ask women what they're wearing anymore. It's the whole thing, ask her more. You have to ask her more. Now, it's like, you ask the men more. Hey, everything's not sexism. Everything's not racism. They ask the men more because the men are all wearing the same outfits, okay? Every guy in here is wearing the exact same thing. If George Clooney showed up with a lime green tux on and a swan coming out his ass, somebody would go, "What you wearing, George?" Hey, welcome to the 88th Oscars Academy Awards.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Whatever it is,
we're all the best.
Whatever you do,
That's good,
your
though.
shit moves me. Like
I would rather see this than the old days where Michael and Prince were fighting and one motherfucker ended up falling off a light pole.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I saw that.
Fuck that. Fuck the old days, nigga.
You know that story?
No, I don't know the story.
Oh my God.
Eddie and Richard only got together for the movie. They were not cool. Richard and Cosby weren't cool.
The first time I saw Eddie and Richard together, Richard's on stage in the original one, and he's performing. And Rashawn brings him a note. And Richard looks at the note, and he puts it away, and he keeps working a little bit. And the note said, Eddie Murphy's here. So Richard's working, and so Richard finally says, "No, there's a young man here. A lot of people say that he's a new me, but I'm not finished being me yet. So that fucks with me a little bit. But his name is Eddie Murphy." And everybody goes crazy. He's like, "You want to come up?" Eddie had never met.
Oh my God.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Says, "How about it? Put your hands together for Eddie Murphy." Eddie walks to the main in the main room, comes up to that one step on, right? He steps up on the stage, they shake and meet for the first time. Richard walks away, but doesn't leave. He sits on that step, that one step down in the original room. He sits and watches Eddie work. So for Eddie, it's like, Richard's sitting here. And Eddie turns the motherfucker out. And Richard stands at the end. And they comes to the steps and they walk away together. And it was the greatest fucking moment.
Yeah, that's sad. Literally, dude.
I wanted to ask you if I could list you as my emergency contact.
Absolutely. I'm the guy. You should call me if anything goes wrong. Like Harvey Keitel in Pulp Fiction.
And if anything happens, you'll raise my husband and son?
Yes.
Can I have kind of a dope funeral?
The Reverend CeeLo Green is going to perform the service.
Yes.
The catering is going to be done by Roscoe's.
Wow. Thank you.
So good. People are going to be rooting for your death.
Thank you so much. You thought of everything.
We're rolling, all right. This man's got rehearsal.
Hey!
All right. On the last 8 albums, or could have been longer than that. On all the credits, there's always the thing that says, may you live to see the dawn. Is this the dawn?
My own personal dawn, it is, yes. It's the time period where you figure out where you're going. You've completely judged where you've come from and laid out all the pieces, and you know exactly what it all means at that point.
Okay. Early on in your career, you, even now, sometimes you dabble in it, was the androgynous thing. What I want to know, and with all due respect, was that an act, or were you searching for a sexual identity?
That's a good question. I don't suppose I was searching, really. I think I was just being who I was, being the true Gemini that I am, you know. And there's many sides in that as well. And there was a little acting going on too. You know, I mean, we'd have the scene where I go hug the bass player, he's a man, and I'd go kiss the keyboard player, she's a woman. You know, we had some of that going on too, but you know, it's rock and roll.
So there's a lot of religion in the music, a lot of spirituality. I mean,
spirituality, yeah.
I mean, even your first film starts off "Dearly Beloved." It's the first thing we hear. I just want to know: have you ever practiced any organized religion at any point in your life?
No, sir.
Okay.
I mean, I was made to go to church when I was young, and the most thing I got out of that was the experience of the choir. But as far as the message was concerned, a lot of it was based in fear. You know, what will happen to you if you do something bad. And I don't think God is, you know, to be feared that way. You understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying.
I think He's a loving God, and I think He'll reward you for that, not punish you for your mistakes.
God doesn't whip His child; He gives him time out.
Amen.
Okay, I want to know, how did your early relationships with women, you know, your mother, your sister, who you refer to in various records, actually affect the music? Because so much of your music is about women. God created women, and you know what I mean?
Well, once my mother remarried, she had to, it was during a time period in my life where she had to try to teach me about the birds and the bees. And, you know, it was pretty heavy at the time. And, I learned more than the birds and the bees, I think. And I think it really affected my sexuality a great deal. You know, and over time, you come to find out things on your own. It's not really somebody else's fantasy, it's got to be your own. That took a long time, you know.
Ooh. Okay, we're going good so far.
Happy holy days. You like my house? We're gonna fool around tonight, make a little noise, go on dance, it's cool. Don't sing, let me do that.
Okay, I watched an interview with Mike Tyson recently, where he was watching an old tape of himself. And he said, "I can't beat that guy." When you see old tapes of yourself, I mean, how do you find them intimidating?
No, not
Can
at
you
all.
beat the guy?
No.
Or do you want to beat the guy?
Don't want to beat the guy. You know, I pick up some reviews of my work from time to time, and you'll hear a lot of talk about, will he ever match the success of such and such and such and such? But see, I'm not on that road. I've been in the business 20 years now, and that's a long time. And, you know, I'm still learning. Emancipation is a good indication of that. Some of my harshest critics have said there ain't a bad song on it, you know. And songs like Joint to Joint and Style, which one...
Style.
Right.
I like Style a lot.
Right. Which,
I listen to Style. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? You know, which, you know, those type of songs which some people will say is too long. Another person will say those go with the old Prince tracks, you know. So, I'm, you know, Purple Rain and that whole situation, Thriller, that whole situation, Like a Virgin, that whole situation. I mean, that was a time period. The Beatles are never going to capture what they did in the beginning. If they continue working, if we all continue working and we all continue growing, I think. And it's our journey, you know. It's not for somebody who doesn't play music to step up and say, you know, that's not as good as.
Okay.
Spirituality, I think true spirituality is, it's just like you were saying before. You know, God's going to give you time out. You know, he's not going to say this is better than that. And, you know, we're all children inside.
So when you're at Warner Brothers, there's a lot of flack for putting out too many albums.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel that if you were an artist in another time period, that you'd be more appreciated? I mean, Mozart, Beethoven probably put out an album every month, the equivalent,
right.
You know, a symphony.
Right. I mean, Aretha Franklin, every 3 months there's a new album. James Brown, every 3 months there was a new single and album. You know, yeah, it was. If I'd been in that time period, but then again, competition would have been more fierce too. So, you know, I guess everybody has their moments.
I mean, now you have total artistic freedom.
Total.
Now, do you think that some great art needs boundaries and the artist needs to react to the boundaries? Like some of the great artists, like just figuring out, like me comedically, how do I get around censorship? Sometimes you write the better joke or you write the better song.
That's a good point.
Because you try to get around, I got him.
That's a good
And
point.
it's even more clever.
Yes, and I think some of my earlier work, if, you know, people want to say that it's better, you know, Dearly Beloved, Let's Go Crazy was about God and Satan, you know, me dealing with that dichotomy. I had to change those words up. The de-elevator was Satan in that song. Now I had to change those words up because you couldn't say God on the radio. You know? And Let's Go Crazy was God to me. It was, you know, stay happy, stay focused, and you can beat the de-elevator. Nowadays, you have If God Was One of Us and a lot of things like that. You have the Holy River. It's a much different time period. I must admit, though, I like being able to say exactly,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
The elevator was the devil.
Yeah.
The elevator's a better lie.
And
The metaphor is always better than the literal.
Yeah. You know, and as far as your work is concerned, you know, I've seen you and Richard Pryor, and I don't think censorship should be inflicted upon you or him. I think you're being honest in what it is that you're portraying, and you know, I've seen you both ways, and I appreciate the honesty myself.
I like the freedom. Oh, so this is a good one now. Me personally, I don't lump people off. You're a singer, you're an author, you're a comedian. I lump us all into writers because we all pretty much up real late, write on a piece of paper, and we choose different things to do it. I think we'd all rather sing, but most of us can't. Which writers, what other art forms have come into your music? I mean, did you know, Richard Pryor, you know, what TV shows, what movies?
Comedians had a great deal of effect on my music, I think. Really in so much as that the bands that I were with, all the bands I've had, we always had those records going on. You know, all the top comedy records. And it was always a challenge to be funny in music. It's always a challenge to have some sort of humor in a song and to make somebody feel good. That's the biggest challenge, I think. That's what I really believe is missing in music today. I think we've lost sight of the fact that music, I believe, was put on earth to enlighten and empower us and make us feel closer to our center. You know?
Now you wrote 10 years ago, 12 years ago. You wrote. I mean, you say Enlightenment and Power. You wrote Sign of the Times, which is like, which Sign of the Times for that period of time is what has the same impact as What's Going On had for that time. I would say, you know, the war record. I mean, Sign of the Times is pretty much the first reference to AIDS ever in a record. I mean. So what am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say, how does it feel that you wrote this record so long ago, and it's still so on time right now?
Well,
probably more than any of your other songs.
Well, there again, you know, it's part of the evolution. I was growing at that point, and I was getting to a point in my career where I could say anything. You know, I was given that freedom. I attribute a great deal of that to Warner Brothers. They didn't really censor my music. You know, the problems we had were basically with ownership of what it was that I created. You know, like if I'm painting, whatever, I want to be able to sell that, you know, for all of time. You can rent it, you can borrow it, you know, for a little bit. We can all get paid from it, but then, you know, so like I said, here we get up to Holy River. There's no de-elevator. There's no, you know, and then you learn so much. You know, I'm really looking forward to the future now, because to be able to write in complete freedom is every artist should be able to do it once. I really do believe in it.
Okay. Well, you talked about owning your music and just having complete control of your music. People sing, you know, do covers of your songs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any song that you wrote that is so personal to you that you just don't want anybody to touch it?
No. Once I've done my version of it, it's free. It's all good. I don't mind.
Beatles had the Rolling Stones. Elvis had Jerry Lee Lewis. Early on in your career, who was the guy that you looked at and said, well, I got to get back in the studio? Did you hear so-and-so?
Yeah.
Let's get in the studio right now. Who did that for you? Everybody's got somebody.
Well, contrary to what a lot of people might believe, it was never somebody who was my contemporary. It was always old
Got to be a
records.
contemporary.
Yeah, not really. You know, I'm not gonna front today. You know, I ain't gonna front. You'll be here tonight, right?
I'll be here.
Okay. All right. It's gonna be when I pick up Hair by Larry Graham. You know.
Okay.
And you can ask Michelle and Digio cello, or Rhonda Smith, my bass player. Anybody, when they hear that, what do they want to do? You know, it makes you want to pick up the bass again.
Okay.
And keep that going, because that's what made me want to play the bass. And if I do that, and that inspires me to do something that's as cool, you know, maybe some kid will pick the bass back up again instead of sampling Larry Graham.
Okay. You didn't have, okay, and cut it out or whatever. There was never like any rivalry between you and Mr. Jackson?
Not to me, no.
Okay.
I'm a musician. I live for that. I live for playing and creating songs. So, when you get a bunch of musicians around, they don't think of that unless, you're talking about Larry Graham or Sly or somebody like that who actually puts their hands down or something. You know?
Okay.
That's what's frightening to us. How did he put that note in that chord, and then the bass harmonized in that place? It goes a lot deeper.
So you're on the road now.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the greatest live performers ever.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you really are. I mean, you talk about owning your music. I think the thing you have that's worth more than anything else that you have is your reputation as a live performer. How do you prepare for a tour? I mean, is it anything extraordinary? Is it, like when I prepare to, if I'm going to do a special or album or something, it's like there's things I won't listen to. There's books I'm going to read. sleep patterns and all sorts of things. I
Right.
mean, what,
Well, there's a great book I'm reading called The Seat of the Soul, which talks about the personality and the soul, the differences between the two. And I've really been into that because I got a lot of Gemini in me, and I can hear I can hear a voice in there talking, and you know, it's just I gotta always listen as to where it's coming from. You know, the voice will sometimes say, play what makes you feel the best, play the new music, play where you are now. Emancipation's 3 hours long. You know, it's 36 songs. That would fill up a show. I would love to do that the whole time. Now, that's 3 hours. But, you know, the fans I have, well, friends, I don't like to call them fans because that's short for fanatic. But the friends that I have that come to the shows, they're just, it's beauty personified.
this is beauty. You're absolutely right.
And I gotta give them what they want.
Basketball fan.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball friend, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite team? Who's your favorite player?
I'd have to say Jordan, just because of his focus. Okay. And I like the Bulls for their discipline.
Okay.
You know, I run my band like that, and I use basketball as an example in a lot of different instances.
You find your guys who are missing notes and, you know, James Brown.
I used to actually fine them, but I just threaten them with fines now. You know, and they
don't pay them enough.
Well, they have a lot of respect for the music and themselves, so they, you know, they don't like to mess up either. You know, there was a game there recently where Jordan just wasn't on, you know, and he just sat down and put his head down. See, that's, you know, that's because it hurt his soul. You could just tell, you know, and that's what I want out of a musician. I want them to realize that music it's important to all of us, you know, and it can't be disrespected.
Same way with comedy. Okay, you're familiar with the Traveling Wilburys? The George
Dylan.
Harrison,
Yeah,
Bob Dylan,
Mm-hmm.
all those guys. Now, if you could assemble your supergroup of your contemporaries, that to be of contemporaries, and no one who's been in any of your bands. I mean, I'll give you Sheila E. Who would you get?
That's a good question. I've seen this one on the internet before. The interesting thing is, you know, without sounding too arrogant, is that I've really had some of the greatest musicians in my
I know
band.
you have.
Yeah. I'd have Wendy and Lisa back.
Come on, man. We knew you were going to say that.
Well, we'd have Sheila E. on the drums. You got to do that.
I'll give you Sheila.
I'll take it back. Sheila E. on percussion. I have Michael Bland playing drums.
Okay.
And then on the bass, and see, man, that's hard. You know, Rhonda Smith. No, Rhonda Smith. Because she learned from Larry. You know, she's trying to take it to the next level.
Okay.
I'd have her doing that. Oh man, I'd have the band I got now.
I knew he was going to do that.
Well, you got to come tonight and check it out.
I'm almost done, man. Tell us what your new charity's about.
Love for One Another charity is our nonprofit organization that basically I come do a show and people pay to see that show. We take all of the money. It's not portions of the proceeds, but all of the money goes into the foundation, and we take care of children in need. We have plans to build a school and a dream to build a hospital one day. And the concept for it has been going on about a year now, but, you know, my soul will say that it's been going on for thousands of years, and I'm just manifesting it now. So it's much more rewarding to do a concert this way. I can't tell you. It's completely different. And I've been afforded the luxury where I don't, you know, I'm not in financial straits, and thanks to a lot of good people in my past. You know, to be able to be the catalyst for something like this is very important to me.
Thank you. I think this was cool. Did you say everything you want to say?
Yes, sir. You asked it all.
Chris, they're ready for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you already know that it's him again. Letting them hang.
today. With me, here's the